Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here again, and I have a bunch of fun stuff for you today. We're going to talk about seeds and plants and trees and all the things that help us be fed by the world and us in return take care of the world by helping protect our natural resources. So first we're going to sing a hello song, and then I'm going to tell you what that means. A little more. Okay, here we go. Sing along. Hello children, hello grown-ups. Welcome to our class today. Let's all sing and clap our hands, and then we'll sing and dance and play. Hi to the children, hi to the grown-ups. Hi Teacher Michelle and Teacher Lack. Teacher Messi and Teacher Haya. And my name it rhymes with a fruit, which is a plant, which grows from a plant called papaya. Well, behind me, I have all our wonderful seeds and plants to show you and other things. And in front of me, we're going to show you the parts of a flower. But we're going to sing a little song first. Ready? Inch by inch, row by row, gonna see this garden grow. Gonna warm it from below, gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, God bless these seeds I sow, and warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Can you make the rain with me? Till the rain comes tumbling down. Well, I want to show you the parts of the plant that we're going to be talking about today. Here's a picture that my children made when they were little. Here it says seeds. The seeds come from the top of the plant, inside the fruit or inside the flowers. And then when the plant starts to grow, it forms a bud, a little green thing that grows. And that's called germination. Can you say that? Germination. Good. And it's not about germs, it's about growing something, just in case. All right, then the leaves grow. And I learned something really cool about the leaves today. For trees, leaves are the only way they get food. They are not exactly like little plants. Little plants have roots, and that root goes into the soil, and that soil feeds the plant, and it goes up into growing to a flower, and then a fruit or a vegetable through the stem. But trees get all their food from the leaves. And inside the leaves, we're going to show you how the water goes into the plant from the leaves and how the sun makes magic. It turns the food into something, turns the light into food that the plant can eat. Isn't that cool? Did you know that plants eat food that is made by sunlight? So magic. It's invisible, and then it turns the carbohydrates and sugars into something that the plant eats. Just like you like sugar and carbohydrates and need it for exercise, so does the plant need it to grow. All right, so let me start from the beginning. Once upon a time, there was a little seed, just a baby seed. Here's my seed. Can you see it? Let's see. Where is it? Not too there. There's a light there in the way. There it is. One little bean or a seed that will grow and grow. So, what do you think it needs to grow? It needs sunlight and water and dirt. And then when it grows a little green shoot. Just a little one. You will see it. We're going to show you how to do it too. And when it grows that little green shoot, that is meaning it's called germination. Germination is when the plant grows. If I turn this right side, let's see if it's better that way. There we go. Germination, and then it grows bigger. What's the next thing that happens? two things. One, the roots go down, very little roots. We don't want them to get too wet, but we do have to water them. But the water has to flow in and out so they don't get mushy, so they can keep growing. And then the other part is the little plant starting to grow. Isn't it cute? It just grows up and up and up. And then inside is the whole flower or fruit about to grow. Now, here, we were small. Now we're getting bigger, right? And then when it's all grown up, an adult plant, I want to be able to see without the glare, yeah. Then it has the root system growing so that it can always get water when it needs it and go up, up, up the stem. The green part's called the stem. And then it has bigger leaves. Do you see how they get bigger and bigger? And plants are so nice because they give us shade. And they give the insects and the bugs shade. And they give them a place to live. And it gives us food and fruit and vegetables and things to eat. Now, what is that on top? A flower. It takes a while. But when the flowers come out, then it's full grown. If it's just a flowering plant. If there's more, then a fruit will grow, or more things like a vegetable or something that is special. All right, so this is what my children also did when they were little. And it goes in a circle because then the plant will die and go back into the ground. And more seeds will come out of the ground if it stays there in the soil. And the soil is fertile. What does fertile mean? Fertile means it can make it grow. If the soil has food in it and nutrition, the plants will grow. That's why we do what's called composting. We put our old fruits and vegetables that we have little pieces of, or things that have like the skin or eggshells, and it gives it back to the ground the food that it gave to the plant. So it gives it calcium, like we eat calcium from our food, they get it from the eggshells, and also nitrogen. And you know what I do every morning? I take my coffee grounds, and I'll show you, and we're going to make the soil better. So we're going to take this coffee inside. Do you see it up there? That coffee feeds the soil. So I empty it out into my plant, and then it will grow better. So you can take your food and the things you drink, not you, but your parents, and you can make a plant grow. Right, ready? Okay, here's the next thing, and I'm going to press this so we can. All right, welcome back. Oh, I can't wait to show you what we're going to do. Okay, what we need is just a little tray that's got plastic or some foil underneath, so the water, when we wet the paper towel, won't go through to something underneath and get it wet, because we need the water to stay there. It's wet for the plants to eventually grow from the seed. And I have some really lovely big seeds so you can see them. These are called sweet peas, and they're very good for planting because they grow really easily, and they smell so good when they come. Do you hear the garbage truck? It's behind us. So I'm going to put the seeds on the paper towel, and we're going to see if they grow. Seeds take a long time to make ready for going to us from the store. I was reading that stores that sell seeds now are having to sell a lot because more people are planting things, which is good. But when you have to plant things, you have to buy seeds if you don't have them already. If you do, like you have fruit and vegetables, I encourage you, I hope that you will actually plant those. So when you eat fruits and vegetables this week, I want you to save all the seeds and wash them off and dry them off and save them in a little bag. And you can plant them, and we'll do it together if you want, right after that. So I'm going to show you. Can you see all those seeds? I gave them space to grow, right? Isn't that nice? And they're going to feel all the wet water, and eventually in 1 week, if they're good seeds for growing, they will be ready to start sprouting. And what is that called? Do you remember? It's called germination. Can you say it? Germination. Well, seeds have different shapes. Just like people are different shapes, so are seeds. Look at that seed. What do you think that is? Could be a pumpkin or a squash, right? We eat these seeds, they're yum. So here we go. This is called a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, the one you have for Halloween. We can plant them now and they will be ready for Halloween. Those are big seeds, right? Now, sunflowers are little seeds. These are, pardon me, a kind of daisy. And these are flat seeds. Very tiny. Aren't they cute? Those go in the soil, and this is a good time to plant them in the spring because it's warm and it won't freeze because it's too cold because they need to be warm just like you do. And this is cilantro. That's a kind of, it's an herb. You can plant it and then eat it. And then parsley. And here's some parsley seeds. Are you ready? Oh, there's no seeds in here. That's parsley. We're going to grow. Those are easy to grow too. So if your grown-ups need to know what is an easy seed to grow, parsley is good and cilantro is good. Here are some moonflowers. Does that mean they grow on the moon? No, it means they look very much like white of the moon. Let's look and see what color the seeds are and what shape they are. So let's see. This one I didn't do yet. So here we go. Oh, look how big they are. Wow. Can you see them? I'm going to germinate them too, but I'm going to germinate them in a different place, in an egg carton. So I want to show you that you can recycle your things at home. That means reuse. So I put old paper towels, which I used a little bit already, but not a lot, and an egg carton which had eggs in it. And I took the eggs out and we're going to put this in. Are you ready? So we're going to put one in each one, and we're going to put it here inside the hole that I made for each seed. And I'll get some more, but I'm not sure if each one will grow, so I'm going to put a couple extra in each one. And we have to pour some more water on it because it's a little dry. Because what do plants need to grow? Tell me, what do they need to grow? You know, soil or water at first and then soil. Here's our water. And they need air and beautiful sunlight, and we're going to water them. Ready? Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to show you. A lot of water at the beginning makes it work better because then the sun and the air dry it out. That's nice. Isn't that nice? Look, look. They're all wet and ready to go. And I'm going to put it on some plastic. So right now I'm going to put it on a towel so it doesn't get the floor or the table wet. All right, so these are called moon. How cute is that? White moon flowers. And that would be fun to have in a garden, wouldn't it? Oh, isn't that nice? Okay, and here's our pumpkin seeds. And you can put spices on them, and you can grow the spices too. Not fun? You can grow garlic, and that's very good on them. Well, some seeds are very fragile, and they have to be in something first before they come out. And these sweet peas were in a little pod. Do you see that pod? It opens, it's very thin, and it has a magic string on it. That little string, do you see? If you pull it from the other side, there's one on each side, it opens by itself. It opens all the way. And the little seeds come out, and they're protected. When it's green, it's a little stronger. It's dry now, and it protects them. So here's the sweet peas, and I'm going to plant some of them and see if they still grow. We should keep our seeds cold in the refrigerator if we can. I don't know if these will grow because they weren't in the refrigerator, but we'll see. Now, other seeds come in pods like these, bigger seeds, and these are from another country. This is, I believe, from the Philippines, and they made an instrument out of it. Listen how pretty it sounds. So those pods are hard. They still break, as you can see, they break, but they can open a little bit, and the seed comes out. Now, I have a question for you. When a seed comes out, well, how does a seed come out? That's the first question. How does a seed come out of the pod? Very interesting. Or somewhere where it stays. Little animals can go into it. I'll show you what, and pull them out. Or the wind can blow them. That's a good way. If the wind blows them far away, then the flowers and plants will spread all around. very special seed I want to show you that's in what's called a pine cone. Are you ready? And a pine cone comes from a pine tree. And pine trees are very tall and big, usually very. So guess what? They need a lot of room to grow. So it starts as a little seed inside here. Can you see in there? There's a little holder. That's the whole shape of it. You can see the outside here. Now inside this little holder, there's little teeth. There's little grabby things that hold on to the seeds. The seeds are very thin. And inside there, they're like a little piece of paper, very thin. And the grabby thing holds on to it, doesn't let it go right away, but eventually the wind is strong or an animal sneaks in and gets it, and it takes it away. And they're very interesting, the seeds, because they have a point on them. And the point makes them spin around. I'm going to show you. And the point makes them go a little bit farther away from the mommy tree or daddy tree than it would if it were round all the way. Do you see that point? That point makes it spin like a helicopter around and around, and it moves it far away with the wind. Well, that gives it a nice big space to grow because it's not right next to the next tree it came from, but it's farther away. That is nature's way of spreading out the seeds. Now, I have such pretty pine cones. Can you see this one? Doesn't it look like a flower? And each of these little cups is like a holder for the seed. When the pine cones fall down, the seeds can fall out. Or the wind will blow them out if they don't fall out, right? So it's good to collect things like pine cones, but some places say please don't because we need those seeds for new trees. Because one fascinating fact, 2 trees, just 2 big grown-up trees, provide enough oxygen, which is what we breathe, for 4 people, a whole family, your whole life. So every tree is like gold. It's precious, precious, precious. So you saw the pine cone and you saw the seed. I'm going to show you some more seeds because they're all different. This is a big one. This is called a magnolia tree seed. And the seeds in this one are really pretty. They're red. Do you see the holders, each little holder there? I think it's very cool. It's like a little bed for each one. And the seed is red, so you can see it when I pull it out. And here it is. Are you ready? Wow, isn't that cool? Pretty color. There it is. That seed sleeps all the time when it's growing in this beautiful pod, and then it comes out when it's ready, and it releases that. So it doesn't come out till it's ready. And the sun and the growing and the air and the water, it all helps it grow, right? Okay, well, if you were a pine tree, you would have a pine cone and a pine cone seed. But if you're an oak tree, you don't have that kind of seed. It's very different what kind you have. You have what's called an acorn. Now in California where we live, there are lots of kinds of acorns. There's black oak and white oak and all these other kinds. And they have different acorns. And we are very lucky because when it was a long time ago and people didn't have food, they would open up these acorns and they would make a powder like flour, and they would grind it, which means they'd rub it and break it until it was very thin, small, and they would make it into bread. But there's a special way to do it. So first I want to introduce you to the acorn. Here's the acorn. Here's a baby acorn, and it looks like it has a little hat on it, doesn't it? The hat comes off. And then this is protected by the hat. And then the little pointy thing, again, can drill into the soil because it has to go into the dirt pretty deep. If it's going to be a big tree, sometimes squirrels take them in their mouths and they take them into little pots of flowers that I have in my house, and they will plant an oak tree in a little pot. It's not a good idea. But they will save their acorns. They store them because they eat them for food, the squirrels do later on. So they will put them in their cheeks and fill them up, and they will take them into places where they think they can find them again. So these are all different size acorns and different colors too. Can you see the different colors? So what we did in the old days where we would pound them with a rock and we make it into powder and they would put it in a basket. And the basket was beautiful because they made it by their hand, by hand. And then they would take the needles, which are kind of like leaves, but they're very narrow, and they would put the pine needles on top of the basket, and they would put the powder, the flour, on there. Now it gets a little sticky when you get it wet, so that's good. It sticks to the needles, and it doesn't go away. But inside the powder is a little bit of something that doesn't taste good. It's called tannin. Tannin is what's in tea bags. So if you drink tea, then you would have a taste of tannin, which is a mild taste. There's enough in here where it didn't taste good. So they would wash out all the tannin, and then they would put their baskets in the water and the needles and the flour and rinse it out, but the river would only take the tannin out. It wouldn't take out the flour. And that's how they washed their food before they made it into dried flour and then a bread. We could still do it today because I worked with the Ohlone Native Americans, and they had a newer, easier way for us to wash the flour. Do you know how they did it? They put the flour in the washing machine. Not plain, just straight, but they put it in a bag or a pillowcase, and they zipped it up, and that washed all the tannin out. Isn't that cool? Who thought of that? It's such a great idea. So now we have talked about the seeds, right? So you've seen different seeds, and you saw the bud come out in the little picture. And now I'm going to show you the leaves. They're so pretty. I'm going to show you all kinds, a bunch of kinds, not all kinds. Now, here's some leaves that we have. Here's a very, very big leaf. Can you see it? This is from a plant in a tropical place, which means it's very warm, and it takes all the sun in through these leaves, and you can see up close that there's lines and such, right? Well, there's not a lot of visible veins on that side, but on this side you can see little indentations, little bumps. And those are the veins. What I found out when I did some research is that the veins carry from the water into the veins, or from here down to the stem to the plant, water. They carry the water into the plant. That's how the plant drinks, through these veins, these lines. Drinks, 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 and then it's not thirsty anymore. And what do they look like when they're just, well, here's a little leaf. I want to show you another little leaf. Look how cute. There's a little leaf, right? And you can see the little veins, and here on the other side, do you see very faint lines? Very little lines. I see them. I see them. There's the veins. Oh, they're all wiggly. So that's carrying the food and the water. The green part is the food. It's carried in that. And they eat almost like candy. It's sugar and carbohydrates. It's made from the sun. And the way it does work is called a special big word. Photo, which is like a picture. Synthesis. But photo also means light. So they're taking the light of the sun and they're synthesizing it. They're changing it into something they need to eat. And that's the food for the plant. And it's basically starch and sugar. And it even turns into fats and oils, because the nuts have oils in them and fats. And that is what comes from a plant too. So they can take light and make it into food. Isn't that amazing? I think it's magic, and it's invisible too. So here's a seed. I want to show you one more pod, a little seed pod. Inside there is a seed, and it's very protected in this nice little pod. And so some pods are a little heavier and some are lighter, just like that. And some plant leaves have this before they grow. It's very thin. That's also protection for the leaf before it grows. Isn't that cool? That's the tropical leaf. That was covering this when it was starting before. Yeah? Wow. So inside, I want to show you a better view of the leaf. Now the leaf has veins. Can you see? Where is it now? I want to see if I have a better picture. Yes. did it go? It's so thin, it's hard to find. Ha ha! I'll find it. Anyway, here, can you see it? There's the veins. There's the veins, really close up. That's a dry leaf. So you can see just a little bit of the leaf, green part, and then there's the veins. So you get to see all the parts when it's new and when it's not so new. All right, are you ready to see something really cool? Something else can grow in a tree or a plant, but this is a big one, so it grows in a tree, and it's not really part of the tree. And it either is an infection, like it gets sick if the tree gets sick, or it's a thing that wasps or insects will sleep in and grow their babies in. All right, so hang on, I'm going to get it for you in 1 second. Hi, so this is what I was talking about. One thing is called a boll, B-O-L-L, and it is an infection that turned into a wasp's home. Do you see the hole there? Very cool. There it is. And they make a little bit of a nest inside that. And I found this on a tree, and we pulled it off. We shouldn't really take things unless we need them, but as a teacher, you can usually do it once in a while anyway. And the thing is very hard. Can you hear it? Yeah. So that protects the wasp babies because they're not hard. They need a protection like a shell too. Now there's a very, very cool leaf. I want to show you some more leaves because they're very cool. This is called a money plant because it's got little circles that look like they're the shape of money. Other people call it a prayer plant. And it's got a very thin brown edge on the outside. And it grows that color. It doesn't change. It's that color. It's sheer. It's transparent or translucent. So you can see it through the plastic. And you can see how it's very delicate and fragile. Is that cool or what? There's other leaves that you can see here that I collected over the years. One has those little ridges on it that helps it move around, so it also travels further. Here's a bay laurel. That's native to California. That grows here. And then you use that directly as a spice. It tastes good in our spaghetti sauce if you put it in and then you don't eat the plant, but you take it out after, but it makes it taste good. So there's some more different shaped leaves. So there's your money or prayer plant, and this, that's a money plant, and this is other seeds, and I actually do have a prayer plant, but it doesn't look so happy right now. So I want to show you what I have. Here are some more seeds that travel very far because they're very little, super little, and delicate, so they travel in the wind very easily. Look at those seeds. See the white part? That blows away and then it goes far. A dandelion is one of those things. A yellow flower comes off your grass. It grows in your grass. This is like that. It travels very far and you blow up. You make a wish on a dandelion. You can make a wish on this one. Let's see what else we have in this one. An interesting collection here. Here's some dried leaves that are pretty. This is a pretty one, isn't it? This requires a lot of water, this plant. And it was bluish. Can you see how pretty the flowers are? Yeah. So those are almost like our prayer plant, our money plant. Then there's other ones that are different too. There's bougainvillea. Bougainvillea has leaves that are red. It's very papery. And here's the veins. I want you to see the veins. They're so cool. See the veins in the leaves? That brings flowers. They're water. Bougainvilleas can live where there's not a lot of water. So they're very, very little veins all the way through. It's very beautiful. So they hold the water all around the leaves. And let's see, there's one more I can show you. It's interesting. There's some seeds that are different shape, and here's a good one that's not what you would see before, right? This is a seed that was a long, skinny one. And those also get stuck in your clothes, and that's also how they travel, or on animals' fur, and they will travel from one place to another. Grasses grow that way very easily. So we're going to read you a little story about a funny thing that grows. But before that, I want to show you one more thing. Yeah, this is about the flowers that grow from the plant. At the end of the day, we need the insects to have some food for us to make into honey and food. The pollen that comes from the plants grows from the plant, and then the pollen is carried by insects, by beautiful bees and butterflies, which you know a little bit about now that we've learned about it and you studied it in your class. And then the flowers are very pretty colors, so the butterflies and bees know where to go. That is a very good idea. So let's see what. Oh, here's a bee. I'm going to show you my pretty bee. Ready? Here's our pretty bee. That bee has to take all that pollen from the flower and make honey. This is from a honey jar. Very pretty. Okay, let's learn some new flowers. You ready? ABC flower book. This is for aster. A for aster. That's the shape of the leaves and the flower petals. B is for buttercup. That's a buttercup shape. You can color these later on. Carnation is usually red, pink, or white, and it's pokey on the top, right? The leaves are different shapes, the petals, I mean. And this is a daffodil. A, B, C, D, D for daffodil. And dusty. Edelweiss. That grows in Switzerland in the mountains, and I saw them when I was there. I was so lucky. Oh my gosh. It's in a song from The Sound of Music, too. Foxglove. Look at how pretty that grows up like a tall tree, but it's just a flower. G for geranium. Geraniums are pretty. They come in red and pink and white also. And they're very easy to grow. You can just stick the stem in the ground and it'll start growing a flower. Hollyhock. This is H for hollyhock. And I for iris. Those are purple. Sometimes they're beautiful. Look how long and elegant they are. J for Jack in the pulpit. That's funny. Jack in the pulpit. Little guy hiding in there. Looks like he's hiding in the pulpit. And this is the pulpit, supposedly. What's after J? K for kalanchoe. That's a tropical plant. It's pretty. It's like got the big leaves like I showed you. And little flowers. I think they grow in Hawaii. Here's a lily. And I'm going to show you a lily because I have one. Are you ready? I'm so excited. Look how pretty my lily is. This is a beautiful lily. Can you see it? Wow. It just bloomed today and it opened up. And this lily is showing you how the pollen is on the orange part. That's where the pollen is, and it rubs on the wings of the insects. And look how beautiful. And it smells so pretty, so you know those bees and butterflies love it and can find it. And look how pretty the colors are. That is a lily. All right, now we have morning glory. That's a happy flower, very open. There's some like evening primrose that just open in the evening. That's a morning glory. And we had moon, right? I wonder if that comes out in the night too. Oh boy, here's an orchid. I love orchids, they're beautiful. O for orchid. And then P for pansy. P for pansy. Can you see that pansy with a little black part there? That makes it unique. Doesn't really have as much pollen, so it's not as good to plant for bringing bees and insects, but they're pretty to see. Queen Anne's lace. And I believe that the one I showed you is actually Queen Anne's lace. Let me show you again. Queen Anne's lace is the big flat one. I remember this. Here you go. Queen Anne's lace. Here it is. When it's just seeds, that's what it looks like. I'm going to put it gently back in. And what was that? You know, R for rose. That's the most famous one because it has the thorns, right? We see the thorns over there. Ouch. Because it's so delicate and gentle. Protects it with its thorns. Here's a snapdragon. I have those on my front porch. Snapdragon. There's no dragon and it doesn't snap, but it's very pretty. T for tulip. I love tulips. T for tulips. They don't smell, but they're very pretty. Roses do, though, huh? U for umbrella tree. Did you know there's a plant called an umbrella tree? I didn't know that. Now, V for violet. Those smell yummy. And one few more. Here we go. Water lily. It floats on this lovely pad on the water. And that grows in Egypt, and it grew in my pond when I used to have them in my pond. And xanthia, that's with an X. Looks like a daisy, doesn't it? And then Y for yarrow. Yarrow is a good plant to plant. It's yellow or purple, and it grows yellow or white. And it grows with very little water. So you don't need a lot of water for it to grow in your backyard, and you don't waste water that way. So that's a good way to save water. And finally, Z for zinnia. Look how pretty they colored that. Z for zinnia. Very nice. You guys did a great job of watching that. Okay, now we have a funny story. Let's see if you can hear it. Listen. An old man planted a little turnip. Grow, grow, little turnip, grow sweet. Grow, grow, little turnip, grow strong. And the turnip grew sweet and strong and big and enormous. One day, the old man went to pull the turnip up. A turnip is a vegetable that has a big root. He pulled and pulled, but he could not pull it up. Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, come help me pull up this turnip, he said. The old woman said, here, let me help you. I'll pull you, and you pull the turnip. The old woman pulled the old man, and the old man pulled the turnip. But they couldn't pull it up. Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, come help us pull up this turnip. We need it to eat. Little girl said, here I am. I'll help you. I'll help you pull up the turnip. The little girl pulled the woman, and the woman pulled the man, and the man pulled the turnip. They pulled and pulled, pulled and pulled, but they couldn't pull it up. Yoo-hoo, dog, help us pull the turnip. I'll help you pull the turnip. The big dog pulled the girl. The girl pulled the old woman. The old woman pulled the old man, and the old man pulled that turnip. But they couldn't pull it up. Whoop, whoop, cat, cat, pull this turnip with us. I can help you. The cat pulled the dog, and the dog pulled the girl, and the girl pulled the old woman, and the old woman pulled the man, and the old man pulled the turnip, and they pulled, but they couldn't pull it up. Meow, meow, little mouse, please help us pull this turnip. The little mouse pulled the cat. Please do that. The cat pulled the dog, and the dog pulled the little girl, and the little girl pulled the old woman, and the old woman pulled the old man, and the old man pulled and pulled and pulled that turnip. And they pulled and pulled and pulled until it came up, that turnip, at last. Whew. What a lot of pulling. Now that's silly, isn't it? A mouse helping a cat, helping a dog, helping a girl, helping a lady, helping a man. But the truth is, it takes everyone working together to make a garden and to help things grow. And if we help a garden grow, we will have food for everybody. And we will have shade for the birds and the trees, to have more plants and fruits and vegetables for everybody, to grow under them, because plants can grow under trees. And we'll have more homes for the insects and the bees, which also put their hives in trees, and butterflies who also sleep under the leaves sometimes and get protected from the sun and the rain. And they will make water, because trees create clouds. They create the clouds in the sky, and the clouds rain, and that is the water cycle. And we talk about that another time. But water comes really from trees also. So all these things are what we call resources. They're what the world has that we can use, only a little what we need, for us to be strong and grow and be protected. And there we give back to our friend, the earth. We give it back the water, we don't waste it. We give it, don't take too much wood from the trees. And we make things that are not having going to stay in the ground, but then decompose. And that's our other big word, decompose. Can you say it? Decompose. And I even know somebody who's making plastic right now that they want to decompose, and they're finding ways to do that. That would be good. Because right now there's too much plastic filling up our oceans. One day if we don't change it, all the oceans will have more plastic than they will fish. That's very sad. So let's see if you can all be scientists and make plastic turn into the earth again. Wouldn't that be amazing? Here we go. Inch by inch, row by row. Gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it from below. Gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row. God bless these seeds I sow. And warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Now it's time to say goodbye. If you are sad, it's okay to cry. Let's sing everybody's names, and then we'll sing more songs and games. Bye to the teachers, bye to the grown-ups, bye to the children, bye teacher Haya. And my name it rhymes with the fruit that grows from a tree called papaya. Bye, everybody. Thank you. See you next time at Full Steam Ahead with Teacher Haya. Take care. Be safe. Be well. Take care of the world as you can. Every little thing counts. Bye now. Where did my little thing go?